Hello everyone, this is my very first video. I just bought myself a brand new Skidoo MXZ Neo Plus. I think that's what it's called. And I wanted to kind of give you a little tour of some of the gear that I've gotten, some of the very minor modifications that I've made to it to make my ride more comfortable. I'm an outdoors kind of person. I was born and raised way up north in Canada, and I absolutely love exploring the outdoors. I also really love sharing that experience with my 4 kids. So I wanted a snowmobile that I could safely take out independently, that my kids could safely ride, and that I could also pop on another adult or a kid on with me. Now I do have a couple other machines here. There's a Grand Touring 900 Ace Turbo R, but I don't drive that one because the number one reason why I got this one, I chose the MXZ short track, is because if I ever got stuck, there's no way I'm going to get this 900 out of the snow. If I was out with my kids, my biggest concern is, say I hit a snowdrift and I went off the trail. Pretty simple fix if you have a machine that you can actually lift and maneuver. But I can't lift this machine here. I'll show it to you here. This is my beautiful brand new one. And then we also have, oh, it's a little bit snowy. Obviously, we're using them. And it's a snowstorm here right now. So what I did with my machine, this entire purchase, brand spanking new, I was able to make under $10,000. Taxes in, everything in. I bought it from Loisel Sports in Gatineau. So I'm so pleased with the service that I received. So shout out to them. The first thing that I had to do, it does actually come with handlebar warmers, which is so awesome because my last skidoo was a Tundra long track from like the 70s. No bells and whistles, ripped seat, but it did the job and it made me feel like I was outdoorsy and I could go snowmobiling. So this is a heck of an upgrade. But the number one thing is I don't want to be cold. I don't want to be cold on short rides and I don't want to be cold on long rides, and I'm not a complainer. So if I want to keep up to the boys and I want to stay warm, I decided to get myself some handlebar muffs. Now, a couple other things that I did to the machine was I did install the visor heater. And at first, when I heard about visor heaters, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so crunchy. Like, that's so fancy. You don't need them. But what a pleasure to ride and not have to worry about fog. Total difference. So I did run that cord into my battery, and I also clipped it in so that it can tuck into my little center console here on the handlebars. Really, that's the only modification. When I bought this snowmobile, it didn't have the 2-up seat, so I did have Loisel Sports install the seat for me. So I'm going to take you guys to the back of the machine here. You're going to see my messy garage. And also, like, a lot of people, when I told them what snowmobile I bought, they thought it was like a junior size. But take a look here at the size of the machines. There's really not that much difference. Obviously, the Grand Touring has a longer track. Mine's a short track. But that was done purposefully because I don't want to get stuck in a situation where I can't get myself out. So there's my sled here. I've got my gear on it, and I did a lot of research for my gear, what I wanted to buy, what I wanted to wear. My budget's not limitless, so I was really careful. The Grand Touring has like the tunnel bag and everything like that. It's a hard shell one. It's super nice. It's amazing, but that wasn't in my budget, and I have the kids with me all the time, so I'm really thinking about, you know, what makes the most sense. So what I did was I kind of jerry-rigged a backpack, and this is on there solid. Like, that's not going anywhere, so even when I'm cruising around in the snow, it's not going to come off. And all I did was attached it by a military-grade cord. I pulled the seat forward a little bit because I don't want it rubbing on the fabric of the seat. So I pulled it forward. I looped it through the bolts that actually hold the seat in, and then I looped it through my backpack. The backpack has like this waist strap that goes around because it's like a hiking backpack. It's a weatherproof one, so it's very, very rugged. And I wrapped those also around the brackets of my seat. I thought about attaching them here, but I don't want any kind of string or anything that can catch a tree, or, you know, say I did tip over with the kids. I don't want to just, you know, you don't have kids kind of wind their arms around weird things. I just wanted to be as safe as possible. So this backpack's in here completely. I don't have all my safety stuff packed yet. I've only just started getting it packed up because, like I said, the machine is brand new and I'm still getting used to using it. but I'm really happy with the way the backpack is on. Yes, I did invest in the gas can here, just because we are in a rural area. So anytime we go out for a snowmobile ride, we're a few hours. We don't actually have a gas station in the town that I live in. So running out of gas could be a big problem, and I don't want to have that. So I definitely invested in this gas can that clicks on. I know it has a fancy schmancy name, but I don't know it yet. I'll get all my like snowmobile terms figured out, but like I'm a snowmobiler from the 80s. We didn't have any of these fancy schmancy things when I was growing up, and now I have the complete luxury of having them now. So speaking of gear, a couple mistakes that I did when I first went out was I just used an El Cheapo helmet. No, I don't have the super tall windshield like the Grand Touring. You can see the Grand Touring windshield is way taller. We were kind of out in some powder today. Mine's way shorter, so I get a lot of wind, and I was uncomfortable. And like I said, I'll sled all day, but I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to be cold. And I actually ended up getting a little bit of wind burn. So I did buy a new helmet, and I was super pleased to get this FXR Maverick. It has the heated windshield, which honestly, it's so fancy. But it also does this cool, like, oh, I can open it up like this. This is so handy. I absolutely love it. I can take it off. I can talk. I can have a drink. And I don't have to completely take off my helmet, which is great. And then it has the little that visor thingy that goes up and down. That makes me feel like I'm this badass biker or something like that. Anyway, I absolutely love this helmet, and it was only $200. So I purchased this helmet at the Yamaha store. I should know what it is. I'm so sorry. In Pembroke. I got it in Pembroke, Ontario. Yamaha store. $200. Absolutely love it. And it's comparable. My husband has, I want to say it's the GCX. I don't know what it's called, but it was like $500 or $600. I should know what it is, but I don't. I'll learn. Like I said, it's my first video. Another thing I got, went out and bought the FXR gloves and the FXR suit. Bum flap. Get the one with the bum flap. So essential. You want to be comfortable. You don't want to be cold. One mistake I made was I did buy the regular balaclava, so that only lasted a couple rides, and I went out and got the FXR one that has, oh, I got it wet, but it has the windbreaker in it. You definitely want a windbreaker because that really stops the cold. I find if I have my suit up and this tucked in all the way, I don't get any of those wind spots where you're going to get cold. So those are my favorite. I really like the gloves. These are the youth gloves, and I do really like them. But I've been using them a lot. There's no wear and tear or anything like that, but I kind of wanted a higher quality pair. I haven't used these yet. I put them in as my secondary pair. I went out and I got the leather FXR ones. They're not pink though, so I was a little disappointed. I like my pink ones better, but these were only $50 at Rural Distributing in Canada. And they're available online for $50. So that's a great buy, especially when they're around $110. I really am a bargain shopper because I do have the 4 kids. And generally, I don't like to spend a lot on my gear because I end up having to share it with my kids. Not ideal, but that's just the way it is. So that's my sled. I am absolutely loving it. And the nice thing about it is I can manage it. I didn't even move it when I went to lift it. Anyway, when I'm out in the snow, I can actually maneuver it a little bit. Whereas if I try to move the Grand Touring, I can't move this sucker at all. It is so heavy. Another thing is that 3 of my kids do have their snowmobile license, and I'm far more comfortable having them on the Neo, the MXZ Neo, than on the Grand Touring. I will not let them drive that snowmobile. It's just too big. It's too high powered, and they're beginners and learners. So the number one reason why I bought this sled, first of all, was price point. Being able to be all in completely at $10,000 was a huge selling point for me. I really enjoyed my experience at Lazille Sports in Gatineau. And also because I can drive on this sled, even with another adult, and be fine. They did my suspension for me there. My kids can be on the back comfortably with me. Absolutely fine. And price point, that had me. And I have been enjoying this so much. I've lent it out to some friends of mine a couple times who are like big into snowmobiles, and they have these great big snowmobiles, and maybe they were in the shop or something. I forget why. But someone took it out the other day and they were like, wow, I absolutely love that machine. And I go out on tours with people who have the Grand Tourings, they have the 900s, they have all these fancy schmancy sleds, and I'm not that far behind. I am not an aggressive driver. I am super, super just happy to be out, happy to be safe. Usually I have a kid on with me, and I'm really not that far behind. I always tell them, I'm like, make me last so that you don't get stuck behind me, because I'm a safe driver, and I will meet you at major intersections. Just, you know, pull over and have a sip of your water while you wait. Okay, well, thank you. This is my first video. Thank you for watching, and you're going to have to stay tuned because I am all set. I was supposed to go on an ice fishing trip tomorrow, so I've got my pack all done there. I was planning on camping, so everything's all ready to go, but plans change. I'll have kids, they come first, but I am planning on going out ice fishing, and I will show you all of the things. I am planning on doing a ton of videos just with outdoor stuff, especially in the summertime. I've done off-grid videos, but just not on YouTube. I haven't shared anything there, so I'm hoping that this kind of kicks off something that sparks my interest, keeps me sharing my knowledge now that I'm getting older. I have wisdom to share. But my number one thing that I want to share with you guys is, if you get a monosuit, get the butt flap. Get the one with the butt flap. It comes in so handy, especially if you're not 20 or you're not 30 and you've had kids and you got to go to the bathroom all the time. The butt flap, beautiful thing. Okay, have a great day, everyone.